Don't know what you do to me.
Bad boy.
Give me all the chicken heads from Pasadena to Medina. Bet big, get in between your then see the prognosis, doses, blends and bends like Twizzlers. Biggest fitting to hurt what's under that skirt. Who filling them with octane? Got them gassed up, about to get blasted up, son. The last one word the mother, brother miss him. I seen it when he kissed him at the wake, made his body shake. The high guy in 850 eyes, smoke tint, rap terror, full chrome and terror. Street five by the rivers, the fifth is conspicuous. Bad boy slipped in 95, ridiculous. My rap lines is like landmines. One step, kaboom, black suits fill the room. To whom it may concern, Junior Mafia is the click. Act up, I have my honeys total busted.
That's right.
In the middle of the day now, baby, I seem to think of only you. Yeah. Never thinking for a moment, baby, that you've been thinking of me too. Yeah. So I can't wait for the day that we can be together.
All right.
That's right.
Yeah. Tuesday, March the 26th, man. A lot going on, man. You know what? I took a risk and I played the track. We're not monetized, so we should be able to play the music. I didn't play the whole song. But that was one of my, favorite songs from Bad Boy, especially to see Biggie, doing this thing on an R&B song. It's classic, man. And Puffy really reinvented the game with the whole R&B and hip hop and all that. And regardless what happens, I'm not gonna charge the guy. A lot of people are charging him, and it's funny to see the community who we've listened to the music. It's funny to see that we won't even allow the court process before we charge him. We've already charged him. A lot of us have already put him in jail and thrown the key away. And it's amazing. I can understand why in certain ways a lot of things do look pretty sticky right now. I mean, so I get it, but at the same time, we have a court process, right? And the courts, they do very well. The whole court system is top notch. It's top notch. So I don't see the problem with allowing him to do his due through the court. If he does his due through the court, right now, I don't even know. Some people are saying they don't know where Puffy is right now, saying he's somewhere in the Caribbean. He could be in, I don't know, he could be in Jamaica right now somewhere. If he's in Jamaica, he'd probably be all right. He'd be able to hide with all that money. But yeah, it's crazy, man. It's crazy. Let's see what we got here. Let's see what we got going on. First, I want to see. Let's see what's the up to date news right now, because, like I said, there's two things going on. First, I'm hearing that he left the country. Then I'm hearing that he was coming back from the Caribbean. So let me see if I could cruise around and find out what the latest news is. And then what we're going to do is we're going to look at the timeline with all the allegations, because I don't like rumors. I don't like people making up stuff. I like to look at the facts. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to look at what the real allegations are. Okay, so I'm going to send... Okay, you know what? I'm going to send this to you first. What we'll do first, what I'm going to do, because I don't want to waste time, right? So what I'm going to do, I'll send the timeline video. We'll go through that. We'll go through the whole timeline thing to see the allegations that have been made against him. And then after, we will find out the up-to-date news and see what's actually happening, whether he's not I don't think they're looking to arrest him or anything right now. He's still just under investigation. So yeah, there's a lot that we don't know yet. So I'm gonna send you what we're gonna go through now. Let me send that to you now. Let me send that to you, Jay. All right, I just sent you. This is what we're gonna go through. Try and go through it quick, and then if we, depending on how much time we got, we'll see what is the up to date news.
We are live from London, extremely humble, grateful, and blessed.
Bad
Down
boy
all
for
the way
life. That's what it is. Looks like
Yes,
that's what
we are
P
live from
Diddy will
London.
be, man. Man, that's bad, man. If that's really what it, a lot of people make memes, and I could already see that bad boy for life meme already. If he gets
Extremely
life,
humble.
let's take it in. Uh, what happened? That's
Grateful and
oh,
blessed.
We are breaking down all of the recent allegations against Sean P. Diddy Combs as he faces now several lawsuits, including a
so pause.
bombshell
Was it the Law and Crime Network? That's what this one. Yeah, shout out Law and Crime Network.
accusing him of sexual assault and sex trafficking. Welcome to Sidebar, presented by Law and Crime. I'm Jesse Weber. So, if you've been on social media recently or you've been perusing different news sites, you may have seen a lot about P. Diddy and these sexual misconduct allegations. There is a lot there. So, we thought let's break it down for you as to what is actually going on. These are going to be the biggest accusations currently against P. Diddy. So, P. Diddy, Puff Daddy, Diddy, real name Sean Combs, is, of course, a well known music mogul, founder of Bad Boy Records, an influential producer, the founder of a clothing line, a singer, and actor. Now, you might recall that we previously reported on a huge lawsuit filed against Combs by his ex girlfriend, Cassandra Ventura, back on November 16, 2023. At the time, Ventura alleged that Combs physically and sexually abused her, including forcing her into sexual slavery and sex trafficking. And some of the more alarming allegations in that federal lawsuit included Combs allegedly raping Ventura in her home after she tried to leave him, savagely beating her, resulting in bruises and burst lips, forcing her to have sex with prostitutes on video while he watched and masturbated, forced her to carry a gun for him, and tried to chase down music producer Suge Knight with a gun. Even she accused him of blowing up rapper Kid Cudi's car because he found out that Cudi was interested in Ventura. Yeah, it was wild. We covered it here. And she sued him under New York's Adult Survivors Act. That was a law that gave survivors of sexual assault a 1-year window to file lawsuits if their claims were otherwise time barred under the statute of limitations. Now, Ventura had told CBS at the time, quote, "After years in silence and darkness, I am finally ready to tell my story and to speak up on behalf of myself and for the benefit of other women who face violence and abuse in their relationships." With the expiration of New York's Adult Survivors Act fast approaching, it became clear that this was an opportunity to speak up about the trauma I have experienced and that I will be recovering from for the rest of my life. Now, just one day after filing this lawsuit in New York federal court, Combs and Ventura agreed to a settlement. Now, as with most settlements, it was confidential. We do not know the terms. Ventura released the statement saying, quote, "I have decided to resolve this matter amicably on terms that I have some level of control. I want to thank my family, fans, and lawyers for their unwavering support." Combs released his own statement saying, quote, "We have decided to resolve this matter amicably. I wish Cassie and her family all the best. Love." Now, Ben
So
Bradford,
pause
who is
here.
Sean Combs, released a
I didn't take it serious even at this point because you never know. A lot of people were saying that this is gonna lead to an investigation and to him at some point maybe getting raided by the feds or whatever. There were people who actually brought this up, but it is something. It is something when you settle. Someone makes a claim against you and you settle it by giving them money. I know that if somebody makes a claim about me and I know I didn't do what they're claiming, I'm not gonna be trying to pay no money. So there's no way around that, right? So let's continue.
Statement saying, quote, just so we're clear, a decision to settle a lawsuit, especially in 2023, is in no way an admission of wrongdoing. Mr. Combs' decision to settle the lawsuit does not in any way undermine his flat out denial of the claims. He's happy they got to a mutual settlement and wishes Miss Ventura the best. But you have to
So
imagine
pause
the
there.
way.
So the lawyer's even mentioning that just because he's making a settlement, it doesn't mean that he has done anything wrong. But when it comes to the court process, right, and you're dealing with jury, or even if you're dealing with, if you're getting judged by the judge, whether it's the judge or the jury, they're gonna look at these things. You know, someone made a claim against you, and you settled by paying the money. There's no way that's gonna cause suspicion, no matter what. No matter if you want to write a letter saying he doesn't look suspicious just because of it. It's just how things work. Anybody's gonna look at that and think that doesn't look right, especially if they're a certain age and they understand how life works. So let's see what else he has to say.
This came out and these allegations came out. This was a win for Combs in a way, right? Sure, really bad publicity, terrible allegations, but when you settle, it doesn't stay in the news. You don't go to trial. These details aren't revealed at a trial or even in pretrial discovery. This isn't like Johnny Depp, Amber Heard, where arguably one of the motivations for Johnny Depp to sue his ex-wife to take it to trial was to make sure all the evidence did come out because he wanted to prove that he did not abuse her and he wanted to rehabilitate his image. This after Heard had alluded that she was a victim of domestic violence at his hands. This with Combs is very different. Definitely want to keep it quiet. But then what happens? Days after settling, Combs is hit with another lawsuit filed in New York. A woman named Joy Dickerson Neal claimed that Combs drugged and sexually assaulted her when she was in college back in 1991. She alleged Combs filmed the rape, shared the video with others as a form of revenge porn. Dickerson Neal claimed this severely affected her mental health and resulted in her leaving college. And like with Ventura, this lawsuit was filed pursuant to New York's Adult Survivors Act. But actually, this was filed in the Manhattan Supreme Court just one day before the window to sue closed. Diddy denied the allegations. In a statement from his spokesperson released to People, it said, quote, this last-minute lawsuit is an example of how a well-intentioned law can be turned on its head. Ms. Dickerson's 32-year-old story is made up and not credible. Mr. Combs never assaulted her, and she implicates companies that did not exist. This is purely a money grab and nothing more. As far as we see, that lawsuit is still pending. But there is something to think about. Could these allegations be true? Yes, absolutely. Could the allegations against Ventura be true? Yes, absolutely. However, one of the reasons that we see celebrities and high-profile people decide to fight these cases and not settle is because they are concerned about the floodgates argument, right? If you settle with one person, you're going to have to settle with all of them. Now, we haven't seen a settlement in this case, but remember, this lawsuit came out after the Ventura settlement. Doesn't take away from the legitimacy of the claims, but just something to think about. But then what happens next, right? A third lawsuit comes out in New York. This time, an unidentified woman claims that Combs and singer-songwriter Aaron Hall raped her 30 years ago. Combs' spokesperson released another statement after this one, saying these are fabricated claims, falsely alleging misconduct from over 30 years ago and filed at the last minute. This is nothing but a money grab. Because of Mr. Combs' fame and success, he is an easy target for anonymous accusers who lie without conscience or consequence for financial benefit. It goes on to state, quote, the New York legislature surely did not intend or expect the Adult Survivors Act to be exploited by scammers. The public should be skeptical and not rush to accept these bogus allegations. But then you fast forward to December 2023. Another lawsuit comes out. Another unidentified woman has accused Combs, former Bad Boy Entertainment president Harvey Pierre, and another person of sex trafficking and gang raping her when she was just 17 years old. She said that she was flown from Michigan to New York City, supplied with drugs and alcohol, and then assaulted at Combs' recording studio. The same
So
day
okay,
of
so
this
pause.
lawsuit, Combs issued a statement on
So
Instagram.
we got a lot of allegations, right? And it's really tough. Did it happen? Did it not happen? Are they just trying to get some money? It's tough to prove it. If these people, and it really comes down to evidence, right? Who has the evidence to prove their claims, right? I don't think these people that he's mentioned three people, three women so far, which I haven't heard that they have proof. One woman said there's a video out there. If she has the video, then it's really it's a smoking gun case if she has evidence. But from what I heard, they don't have any evidence. But there is someone who does claim to have evidence. They'll mention that. Uh, we'll continue.
Graham saying, quote, enough is enough. For the last couple of weeks, I have sat silently and watched people try to assassinate my character, destroy my reputation and my legacy. Sickening allegations have been made against me by individuals looking for a quick payday. Let me be absolutely clear. I did not do any of the awful things being alleged. I will fight for my name, my family, and for the truth. By the way, little side note about these lawsuits. They may be able to be legally brought, right? But they can still be difficult to prove. When you're talking about the age of these claims, witnesses' memories fade, evidence gets stale. It's not impossible to prove the case, but it can be difficult. And I say that because remember, you can have a witness and a victim testify, or survivor testify. That could be sufficient in order to prove the claim. Maybe you have a few corroborating witnesses. That could be it. This isn't a criminal trial, by the way. The standard of proof in a civil case is much lower. Look at the E. Jean Carroll case against Donald Trump. And from an optics point of view, this arguably has hurt Sean Combs. I mean, he stepped down from his position as chairman of Revolt TV, the media company he had founded. He's now on the defensive. But that is not the end of the story. No, 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 no. It is just the beginning. Because now producer Rodney Little Rod Jones has filed a massive, reportedly $30 million federal lawsuit against Combs and others, alleging sexual assault, harassment, and an illicit criminal enterprise. This lawsuit by Jones is 75 pages. It lists out 15 separate causes of action, and we're going to go through them. But this lawsuit is against
So this is
Combs,
the
his
guy
son,
with all the
Justin
evidence,
Combs,
all the
various
evidence here.
associates.
He claims to have a lot of evidence and has seen a lot of crimes committed, uh, uh, allegedly committed by Puff Daddy. Uh, so he's gonna get into that now. Let's see what he's talking about.
And entities like Chalice Recording Studios, Love Records, Motown Records, Combs Global Enterprises, and Universal Music Group. So the complaint starts off by explaining that Jones produced 9 songs for Combs on his Love album and actually lived with Sean Combs for a period of time. And how, quote, throughout his time with Mr. Combs, Mr. Jones witnessed, experienced, and endured many things that went far beyond his role as a producer on the Love album. Mr. Combs required Mr. Jones to record him constantly. On several occasions, Mr. Combs took Mr. Jones's cell phone and began recording himself. As a result, Mr. Jones has secured hundreds of hours of footage and audio recordings of Mr. Combs, his staff, and his guests engaging in serious illegal activity. Now, Jones says that those videos show drugs like ecstasy and cocaine, the displaying of unregistered firearms, Combs spiking drinks for minors and sex workers, Combs' son Christian drugging and sexually assaulting a woman, and even a famous actor sexually harassing and assaulting Jones. Now, Jones alleged numerous events in these papers. For example, Jones, who identifies as a heterosexual Christian man, claims that Combs repeatedly and intentionally groped his private parts without his consent, that this happened in LA, New York, Florida, the Virgin Islands, and that Combs also continually forced Jones to be in his presence while he was naked and showered. So with that, Jones is suing Combs for a claim of sexual assault and harassment. Jones says that this resulted in severe emotional distress and anxiety. And as we go through some of these claims, keep in mind what he alleged that he suffered as a result of Combs' action. This is the injury or harm element that you need for the purposes of damages. What happened to you? What did you suffer? Meaning, what could Jones recover? Let's keep that in mind. But Jones claims that Combs attempted to groom him into homosexual sex. And one of the ways that Jones says Combs tried to do that was by using producer Stephen Aaron Jordan, who Jones apparently looked up to. Combs allegedly showed Jones a video of Jordan engaging in a sex act with another man as a way to, quote, ease his anxiety concerning homosexuality. And included in this complaint are alleged screenshots of that purported video. By the way, Jones alleges that Combs has hidden cameras in every room of his various homes and that he has secret recordings of celebrities and associates, this compromising footage of every person that has attended his parties, which,
So
by the way,
pause here,
from a
pause
legal
here.
point
This
of
is where
view,
this is where it gets sticky. I mean, aside from all the homo stuff, right? This is something that I've heard of. It's not just Puffy. I hear a lot of people. This is what I find funny. I don't hear people talking about the fact that this is something that a lot of rich and powerful people do without us getting into conspiracy theories and saying certain names like Illuminati without saying that, right? That's not. I I don't even have to use that, right? I really think it's something that rich people they just have some types of fetishes, and they have a way about going about those fetishes. And the one thing that I see is common is recording, putting people in difficult situations where you could blackmail them and you could use video. This is I've heard this many times, right? I heard this in the Epstein case. I heard this in many different little, and these are like official cases, court cases that you could go and look up, that they keep recordings of people in embarrassing situations, whether they're engaging with consent or without consent. It's probably embarrassing. It's something that they wouldn't want to get out to the public, so they would use that to blackmail them to do certain things. So one of these days we'll look at that. But it's very interesting that Puffy's one of those other people that we see doing the blackmail thing and video recording people secretly. So yeah, so let's see. We're gonna try. We might skim a little bit through it, but we'll see what he's talking about.
a violation of civil privacy laws and criminal privacy laws, perhaps even implicate revenge porn type statutes. Anyway, continuing on with this alleged grooming campaign, Combs even allegedly admitted that he had engaged in sexual intercourse with, quote, an unidentified Philadelphia rapper who dated Nicki Minaj, as well as, quote, an R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl. Now, there are those who have speculated online that that Philly rapper is Meek Mill, and the R&B singer who performed at the Super Bowl could be Usher. On Twitter, X, Meek Mill posted on his account, quote, one love to the gay people, but then talked about in graphic detail how he much prefers or loves a certain part of the female anatomy. He wrote, quote, every black blog site enhanced that post to make me seem gay. I change laws for our people. I donate millions. They are designed to destroy the image of black leaders. It can't work with me, though. You got to really kill me, and I still will get bigger after death. This God, not me. LOL. Now, one of the people to jump into the mix online was actually social media influencer and former kickboxer Andrew Tate. As you know, we covered Tate's legal troubles in Romania before here on Sidebar, as he's facing charges of rape, sex trafficking, and sexual exploitation. But Tate posted the question on Twitter, quote, so P. Diddy was having sex with Meek Mill and Usher? Meek Mill responded, was you sex trafficking women? TF wrong with you, Brody. Tate responded, I only asked a question because everyone is saying it happened. It's true or not. As for Usher, as far as we could see, he didn't respond to any of the assertions in this lawsuit. And you could argue, why should he, as he's not directly mentioned by name or implicated? But something that has created a bit of buzz online is an interview that Usher did years back on the Howard Stern show, where he talked about living with Sean Combs as a teenager as part of P. Diddy's, it's called Puffy's Flavor Camp. He said, quote, I got a chance to see some things. I went there to see the lifestyle and I saw it. It was pretty wild. It was crazy. They called me Baby Boo. He went on to say he wasn't disciplinary. He was letting me be a young man. And, quote, I will always look at him like a brother. And when he was asked if he would send his children to the camp, he responded, quote, "Hell no." Quick note, by the way, another high profile celebrity jumped into the mix as well with all of this Diddy controversy going on, and that's comedian Cat Williams. You might have heard about this because in an interview with Vlad EV recently, he said he had attended one of Diddy's parties where he found out it was just men there, and he claimed that Diddy had tried to stop him from leaving, making strange, suggestive comments, even threatening and harassing him at one point. Williams had gone on to say, quote, "I am not gay, and I am not going to sleep with you." Okay, but moving forward in the lawsuit, Jones claims that on Thanksgiving Day 2022, Combs offered Jones cocaine, and then rapper Young Miami, her female cousin or assistant, identified as Jane Doe 1, tried to sexually assault Jones, including in front of Combs. And Jones, in fact, again, attached screenshots from a video of Combs, Jones, Young Miami, and
So
Jane Doe
okay,
1 on
yeah,
that day.
so yeah, that you could see there's a lot of stuff, and a lot more is gonna come out. So I'm not gonna waste time trying to, because a lot of stuff's gonna come out. So I'll just wait and see what it. But there's a lot of stuff that does look pretty, and these are things we've heard before. We've heard that to make it into the industry, you have to kind of do certain things. Nori said there's a door, right? You got to go through a door, right? Nori said he didn't go through that door. So, and it's pretty interesting if you connect the dot with certain artists and how their careers go depending on their who they are. You could tell certain artists like who are more independent have a certain mentality, like they wouldn't want to go through that door, and they don't really make it too far. So we've seen that many times, and it doesn't matter how talented they are too. So without going into it fully, though, there's some serious allegations against Puff. No one really knows where he is. I just sent you a video, actually. We're gonna try and look into that because I heard that they do know where he is, but they're not looking to arrest him. Some people are saying he's on the run.
So Diddy was
I don't
stopped at
believe he's on
airport.
the run. I don't believe he's on the run, but we'll see what these people are saying.
So Diddy was stopped at airport following federal raids as private jet lands overseas. Hey, what's up? I'm A-Dub, and check this out. So Diddy's whereabouts are currently unknown, although his private jet was tracked online to the Caribbean island of Antigua. Shortly after federal agents raided his properties in Los Angeles and Miami, Diddy was spotted by TMZ pacing outside of Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport on Monday afternoon, March 26. According to their sources, Puffy was outside a customs office and was waiting to be joined by other people who were apparently also being questioned by federal officials. Information is still murky, but TMZ claims Diddy boarded a separate private jet when Homeland Security arrived, but he is not thought to be currently under arrest or on the run. Properties owned by Diddy were raided yesterday by Homeland Security as part of an ongoing investigation into the music mogul, who has been accused of sexual assault and sex trafficking, among other things. Homeland Security
So
confirmed the raids
okay,
in a statement. Earlier today, Homeland
okay, rewind that because from what I'm hearing, it sounds like they said they stopped him at the airport, and he took a flight after that and went to Antigua, which is pretty interesting. When you got money, man, the things you could do. I'm pretty sure Puffy has his own runway. It's crazy. Let's go back a little bit. I want to hear that again.
is still murky, but TMZ claims Diddy boarded a separate private jet when
Wait,
Homeland
go,
Security
yeah,
was spotted by TMZ.
yeah, that should be good
Shortly
there.
after federal agents raided his property in Los Angeles and Miami, Diddy was spotted by TMZ pacing outside of Miami Opa-locka Executive Airport on Monday afternoon, March 26. According to their sources, Puffy was outside a customs office and was waiting to be joined by other people who were apparently also being questioned by federal officials. Information is still murky, but TMZ claims Diddy boarded a separate private jet when Homeland Security arrived, but he is not thought to be currently under arrest or on the run. Properties owned by Diddy were raided yesterday by Homeland Security as part of an ongoing investigation
So
into the
he
music
bought. So
has been accused of
so
sexual
he
assault.
dipped after. So he dipped. He dipped after, which is usually usually in a situation like this, they wouldn't let you go. They would try to stop you from flying, right? So it's pretty interesting that he got the chance to fly. But like I said, when you got money, right, the things you could do things that the average person can't do, right? Now the question is, right? I'm gonna say this now, right? But I could be wrong. I could be wrong. But something is telling me that we're not gonna see Diddy for a while. I could be I could be totally wrong, and Diddy's probably not that kind of person. And when they call him, he'll come running because he has a lot to lose, and so maybe he's just taking a trip to get a break or whatever. But I wouldn't be surprised if you don't see Diddy for another 5, 10 years, man. I wouldn't be surprised because he has money. He can hide for that long, probably even longer. If you want to, he could just change his whole identity, change his name, change his look, change everything. So it's interesting. We'll see. We'll see what's gonna happen. But so far, it's a big question mark as to where he is. And like I said, usually the feds, when they're investigating you and tearing your place apart, usually, I mean, they detained his sons. I'm not sure if they let him go. I'm pretty sure they let them go. We don't have the video on that, but they detained his sons and they're keeping them close. I find it pretty interesting that Diddy was able to fly overseas. So that'll be interesting to see what happens. And like I said, in terms of the case, though, there's going to be a lot to come out, a lot of evidence probably to come out. You're gonna probably start seeing videos slipping out certain places. So it's about to get crazy. It's about to get crazy, man. And if you've seen that video with Diddy pacing, you could read his body language, and he looked defeated. So when you're not guilty of anything, you don't really, you wouldn't be looking like that. You know what I mean? You wouldn't be doing a lot of the things that Puffy's doing if you weren't guilty of some of the things they're accusing him of doing. I'm not gonna front like as if Puffy ain't one of the people that I watched growing up. I played a lot of his music, a lot of Bad Boy music. So I'm not gonna sit here and act like it's pretty crazy to me. But if he did do some of these things, then he's just gonna have to pay for what he did, man. He's gonna have to do the time for it. And like I said, the court system will do what they got to do. The unfortunate thing is, like they say, the feds have a 95% conviction rate. So they say when the feds come, usually you're done. We'll see. We'll see. Like I said, we're gonna leave it at that, and we'll catch y'all tomorrow night. Y'all have a good one, man.